Here we are in your spiritually fit room, your final room of course, the overarching theme of Healthy Workplace Month. And what I'd love for you to do is take a look, do a bit of an inventory of your organization. How do we do with this? How are we as far as encouraging people to fill their cup up? And sometimes some people go, well, okay, we really don't have time for that. And that's maybe part of the problem. We have to create time for that. So I'm inviting you, as you know, last week I talked about, giving permission slips out, wellness permission slips to your team to be able to encourage somebody to take a couple of hours off because you can see they're frazzled. Maybe they've just de-escalated a situation. Perhaps they put in extra shifts, which I know is very common right now in organization because of the lack of person power, human power. So I think it's, again, really being able to be that observer. I call it the eagle's eye view as a leader or a manager, and taking a look at how can we be better at this? How can we make sure that we are really seeing what's out there? One of the exercises I love to do when I do my team retreats is around a joy list. So I'd love for you to consider doing this at your next team meeting, is having people, it doesn't take very long. Okay, I'm going to do a timer. I just want you to write on the list. I put a piece of paper in front of you in a pen, or it could be a card, a joy list. What are all the things that bring you joy? Let's write them down. And what's one that you can commit to in the next 24 hours? So it's always important that we have an action connected to it in a timeline, right? So what you're doing is you're stimulating, you're encouraging, and investing in your people. Why? For retention, for work-life balance. It also, who better to refer other people to attract, to come into your organization, but your actual people that are working within the organization. So when they see that you're investing in them in this way, it's really important. I think we, number two, have to have conversations about what fills your cup up spiritually. What does that look like? For some, it may be church. Others, it may be meditation. Others, it may be service. Somebody else, it may be that, hey, I just give myself a day off and have no plans whatsoever, and I do whatever I'm inspired to do that day. So whatever that looks like for you, I think it's really important. I think we know more and more about the importance of actually teams coming together and doing, various, fundraisers, or, perhaps they take on, maybe there's somebody in the community that could really, use their support. And so they rally together, whether it's a bowl-a-thon or a walk-a-thon or whatever that might look like. I know a lot of the organization that I work with, the folks are tired and they're depleted because of all the hours they're putting in. So it's really important that we hand them that permission slip to go take an hour off early, or hey, it's their birthday, make sure that they have an extra long lunch, something that just says, hey, you matter, I appreciate you. I think that one thing that we need to get back to is our breathing. We need to breathe more from our belly. I know I catch myself. I belong to a meditation group I have for the last 4 years. Very grateful for this group. And so the focus is really about your breath. So if you ever have difficulty sleeping at night, which I'm sure it may happen for you at times, or certainly your team have had this experience, it's like, okay, so we don't empty our thoughts. There's this illusion, this myth that, my mind is so racing, Kate, I can't do this. No. Your mind's never going to empty. It's there to protect. So it's just like, oh, that's a thought. Back to my breath. Back to my breath. I did this last week when I had a very full schedule, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I knew, just go back to my breath, back to my breath. And before you know it, I had drifted back off to sleep. So just start your next team meeting, with just doing some breathing exercises. Why don't you do it with me right now? This is one they say through neuroscience is really, really helpful, and it helps to get more oxygen to the brain and into the body, which gives us more energy. So I want you to take a big belly breath in a moment, and then you're going to extend it a little bit further. So you're going to let a big one come in, and then take another one in, and then we're going to take an exhale through our mouth and let that even be longer than the inhale. You ready? Here we go. A little more. And then slowly out. Now just check in with your body for a moment. Do a bit of an inventory. Doesn't that feel great? Yeah. So you just create space now. We've got an anxious society, and so this is a great way to help people get grounded. Another way that I really encourage people is to get outside. Get outside. Get barefoot. I know there'll be a time we can't do that. Or we could, but we just have to maybe shovel the snow off. But to me, getting on Mother Earth is very powerful. There's so much that we could learn from the Indigenous community. Had the pleasure and the honor of being trained by a shaman, and just we're not on Mother Earth enough. She's there to heal us. So to me, it's a matter of getting ourselves physically outside. Get your team outside. Get them to take their shoes off. Get them, or be, and their socks is fine too. So I'm inviting you, just encouraging them to be present wherever they are. While they're in that meeting, not be thinking about the next thing or looking at their phone. Be present. That's the key, really, in your spiritually fit room. I hope this has been helpful. Would love to hear what you've implemented with your team. And remember, you are a powerhouse.